Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Gold Silver report for the 17th of March, and not a lot to report. We're still chugging along to the upside. So with silver here from this current low, now it could be counted in a different ways. I've got it as 1, 2, 3, 4 and going up for 5, but it could also be counted as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. And then building up that way. But I have to say it's not going to be a lot of difference either way that we count it. It will become very obvious a little bit later on, and it may be obvious to you. But I'll keep this wave 2 here because it's possible this would be the worst case scenario of pulling back this far. Okay, so what I can also say too is that number 8 here is the third strongest number after 1, 5 and then 8, so we can expect a bit of a classic trading levels pattern to occur across the $28 mark. So the arrival, the reaction which we're having now, we'll look the first high above the level, and then we'll have an ABC correction. So I've got wave 2 coming back quite low here, so that would be the worst case scenario. Otherwise it will just it will pull back to this wave 4 of 1 lesser degree and then move up from there. So we'll just keep an eye on both of them, but if you look for another entry, then we could buy the pullback here if we understand this clearly enough. Otherwise we'll wait till we get back on support here at the 28. We've already got positions along this line here, so we don't really need to load up any further than that. But as far as the crow flies, we'll be looking for wave 5 and then an ABC of some description here, and then a push up from that. So this could be just a larger anyway, we'll look at that when we get there on the 1 hour chart. Here I've got it as blue wave 1 and blue wave 2 here, and then a smaller degree here of 1 and 2, and then building up here. Now the problem here is that as you probably have noted, that wave 4 here now overlaps wave 1. Now that that could be dealt with in a couple of ways. First of all, maybe I've got this counted wrong here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Maybe it's 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and going up for 5 here, and we'll need green wave 3 to come in over here for this. I'll just copy that and put that there. But either way, I have to say that it does appear that this will be corrective here as an A and a B and a C wave here. I can't confirm that until this top here gets breached here. But if you see that gets breached, then you know that we'll be pushing up higher here as the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then a corrective pattern coming into play that can pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree and then move up there. So as I've always suggested, that we're going to be having a hard time at the number 8 here, so we need to leave the stop out of the way and we need to be patient. I know it's an emotional roller coaster, but once you get past a few corrections, then you feel much safer and secure within the trend. You've got more space, more profit there to banked away, so to speak. So we need to get past this number here. We need to get this as support, so it's going to take a little while. So when you understand that the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then an ABC correction and then up, well then you kind of like know that you're going to be going through all this, and you can prepare yourself emotionally and financially in that regard as well. So that's just all part of trading, and at least now you know where it's at. So we'll just hang in there with that. Gold's a little bit more simpler, so we'll look at that here. This is just the 1 hour. Let's just come back to the 4 hour chart, drill out a little bit. So once again, we've got a little bit of a larger wave 4, so but still not a problem. We just need to bring it to this point, but we don't have that overlap in this instance. In this case here, I've got it labelled wave 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and going up for 3, 4, and 5 for the top of the third wave here. So we want this third wave in blue. We want that longer than wave 1 here, which is certainly the case because we can see that the wave 1 here is quite big compared to this one. So it should be growing by 60% as we move up the line. I've just kept my speed line in here, as you can see it here. So basically, you know, anything below this line over here would be buying zone, and above the line over this side would be selling zone, profit taking sort of area. So we're still in, it's quite balanced where it is, so it's all pretty good. So we'll just continue to push up. I could see this is 1 and 2 here and little 3 and so on, so it still needs to push up higher there. So we're facing the midpoint here, so between 1800 and 1900 we can look at the levels as 1, 2, 3 for group 1, the midpoint 50, and then the 8 here. With 8 we can also bring in 72 and 65. I won't do this on the 4-hour chart, just keep it kind of simple. But also too, once we get to this blue wave 3 here, we'll be going into blue wave 4, and that should be, well, it should be 60% bigger than this wave 4, but also too it should be bigger than this one here. But I have to say this is actually really quite big and ugly, and it should be really, as a wave 2, it should be simple and sharp like this one. So maybe I don't have that right, but if that is correct, then maybe wave 4 could be simple then on the guidelines of alternation. So if this one is ugly, this one could be beautiful, so to speak, complicated and simple rather. But still, look, not a problem here. We're still pushing to the upside here, and all is well. So let me just add a few more digits in here. So wave 3 up here, we'll look for wave 4 here. And as I've always mentioned, we'll be, you know, this is another classic trading levels pattern too with gold. So we'll be ending up somewhere up into group 1 here. So group 1 of 2000, so 1, 2 and 3. We should end up in here before we have a bigger correction here. If we get, some folks will say that, oh no, we're going to be pushing up to 15,000, 20,000 or whatever, and I say, yeah, whatever. But step by step we go. So if I'm wrong, if we get a tested support on top of 2,300, the top of minor group 1, right, then we won't be coming back to this number. If we get a tested support on this number, it severs any pull to here. If we get tested support here, then we'll just pop up to the medium level, the next level at 5 here. So normally we just see the market topping out in 1, 2 and 3 area here, and then we'll go in for a larger correction. So that's sort of where we are at this point. Yeah, so all going according to plan. And as I mentioned, I'm not that, you know, I haven't married this particular structure. As we move along, as long as we're counting 5 waves, that's cool. And as we go along, we'll be able to recognize our mistakes, and we'll be able to tweak things as we go. But I have to say, everything's looking pretty dandy actually, and I feel quite comfortable with this 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, because we're getting that extension in the third wave there. So yeah, it's just a tough journey. We know this is a real battle between the banks and the public on this one, so we'll be, you know, pushing them around a bit. So yeah, anyway, there we go. All good. So I'll just sign off on that. So I'll just go to the 1 hour chart and just check on our trades and things. So we could move the stop to here, to the green wave 4, right? But technically speaking, this wave 4, blue wave 4, can pull back to the green wave 4. So we need to be a little bit careful about that. So we'll be seeing something coming up into this space here, and then we'll be looking at some sort of correction here like this. So I'll bring it right back down here just so that you don't get stopped out, because, you know, we're not finished playing this game yet, and I'm not sure how far that will go up, but that's wave 1 there. So we could put wave 1 in, that's not a biggie. It's wave 1 and wave 2 in there. So probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave sitting in around here, fourth wave back here, and fifth wave sitting in here. So we've got enough trades in here now. We've done all the right things at the right time in this space. So we've got one here as well. So I mean, if you're working the trade, you could take profit here, but it may not pull all the way back here either, by the way. It may just pull back to something like this, and then you'll feel a bit silly, or you'll blame me for, getting out. So when you're trying to play the market in and around the market, then you really need to know what you're doing. I don't, yeah. Anyway, that's food for thought. Because the trend is so obvious to the upside, it's just best to stay in. But you can work it if you're up to it. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.